All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Quit Eating Animals channel. We are back for another consecutive day. Today is, I can't see it, February 16th, 2023. And today we're kicking right into a response here. And it's a reminder that eating animals is literally all over the place all the time, and we use it in celebratory ways or parties or barbecues, and we're always talking around eating animals. And once I'm going to say that we started paying more attention. Obviously, we went vegan, and you really realize that it's all over the news. It's literally talked about. It's everywhere, and if you look at it from a different perspective, you start paying attention to how much it's actually used. It's literally everywhere. For example, Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid was asked today how he celebrated. So he went to Pizza 51, number one pizza. What do they sell? I mean, it's literally cheese, dairy. I mean, it's hard to find any pizza place that's vegan or has vegan options. I mean, it's very, very difficult. There's not as many as obviously we'd hope. I mean, we wish that all pizzas would provide that option, but that's just not the case. But Pizza 51, I'm pretty sure that they don't have vegan options. I haven't looked them up, but I'm pretty sure Andy Reid did not get a vegan option version, even if they did have one. So I'll just say that. And he got a mushroom. So mushroom, fantastic, right? Like, love this first one. But then you go right into sausage, which is, again, a name used for dead animals, and it's chopped up dead animals, the flesh of different kinds of animals. And sometimes you have different types of sausages, right? Different, you have pork only, you have mixed up ones, you have all different types and kinds. But at the end of the day, it's the flesh of dead animals, tendons and the skin and blood and just kind of nastiness that's really we as humans, we should not be eating. It shouldn't make us feel good if you describe it like that. I mean, we're just kind of accustomed to eating that way. It means it's what we're used to. It's what we were brought up. And some of our best memories are around these foods. Like I going to baseball games and you get hot dogs, right? But the thought of eating a hot dog and what goes into a hot dog is just, it's I don't even know how to explain it. It's absolutely horrendous to even think about what is in a hot dog. It's just something that no human we just should not be eating that, let alone feeding our children this. We just shouldn't be doing it. And this isn't about, like sometimes, or, it's tradition, or, I mean, we have to break these traditions because these are awful habits that we've developed, and we should not be participating in these things. Right. And so if you can easily, right, get a plant-based version of a hot dog, which we do, it's you get the same feeling, and you don't have to contribute, and you're not eating the absolute, just the bottom of the barrel animals, processed animals, and it's absolutely the worst thing for you. So we just need to stop doing it. And as far as pizza and we got to stop eating processed meats in general. I mean, we got to stop doing dairy. I mean, that's the first thing that needs to go. Everything needs to go, but dairy for sure needs to go, because it is certainly inflaming our body. We are not meant, it is not meant for our species. It is for the cow species. We should be drinking human milk. So if, again, I think people find this funny or, just kind of weird to think about, but it would make more sense, or, I mean, it really would make more sense if, humans or pizza places sold cheese with human breast milk, right? That's our species. So that would make sense. Okay. For us to drink another species milk just does not make more sense at all. So, of course, it's doing bad things for our body. Yet we trick the majority of people into thinking it is good for our body and good for our bones. And it's, it's all marketing. It's all marketing. We're in this marketing, in this, call it carnistic world, where everything around us is talking about eating dead animals and, cow's milk and cheese and more cheese and meat and cheese and meat and cheese and meat and, nothing but that. So, um, so, I think it's easy to switch. I mean, we have to think about switching. We have to think about changing, what we think about celebratory things of going out and getting a pizza. But let's not go celebrate what we're doing to the animals, because that's what we're doing. I mean, if we go out and we contribute to it, we're using the dead animals, and we're using, their milk and their suffering and the violence that goes into that, and we're using that to celebrate and make us feel good. But yet it's so far opposite. And I mean, it for us to sit here and talk about this, I think a prime example of what we're discussing here, like the epitome of what we're discussing here, is Thanksgiving, with, giving thanks with a dead turkey on the table. The suffering of the turkey and the killing of a turkey is right center on the table. And yet the whole day is about giving thanks and being thankful. And so, same thing here, though. We're celebrating, you know, we're celebrating the murder, the torture, the death of these animals, and it's something that we need to change. So go out, have some plant-based sausage, have some, vegan pizza. That's, hey, let's go out. We win the game. Let's do that. But for us to use animals in that way, I mean, once you start thinking that way, right? That shouldn't be. We shouldn't be celebrating that. We shouldn't be using, dead animals and eating them and celebrating a victory and using them. So, that's kind of, that's it. That's what I want to discuss today. All right. The next thing we want to talk about here is just, talk about how expensive eating animals is, and continues to be. And, then again, celebrating these nice outings, these meals, these celebrations, these milestones, or for whatever reason, we go out and we find these nice restaurants that have, these real expensive dead animal platters. And, if I could zoom in here, and you can look here and see, this is a menu. Someone posted a menu of where they were. Look here in the middle here, Taste of Japan, the Saga beef, and these are in dollars, is $198, or $264. Some in the middle here, true Kobe beef, $216, 266, and olive beef 252, and $336. Just, being vegan and plant-based options are your cheapest options. Beans, rice, lentils, tofu, your greens and your vegetables, your plants, your apples, pears, your fruits, everything that you think of is going to be, way less expensive than animals. Look at eggs now. How much are eggs? Eggs are super expensive. So let's stop, labeling plants and vegetables as expensive, right? And as soon as people say vegan, oh, it's expensive. Well, of course, if you eat nothing but processed Impossible burgers and hot dogs, it's going to be expensive. Of course. But you're not going to do that because you're going to eat plants. All right? All right. So another thing I think people don't realize is Bart Simpson was not vegan. Lisa, I think she was as close to vegan, but Abu from The Simpsons is vegan, which is pretty cool. But Bart's up here, and this is one of the cool things to see. My taste does not justify killing animals. A lot of people use this, oh, it tastes good. It tastes, they taste so good. So I think the question people need to ask themselves is, does the taste justify, the killing or what's happening to the animals? Like, does your taste, the 5 minutes of pleasure of that, that's so delicious, does that justify, is that morally acceptable? Um, is it morally acceptable? Does that justify the killing of the animal? Does it justify it? I think that's something that you just got to need to ask yourself, right? So there you go. And then this is another one. So he writes again, no animal has to die for me to live. I think that's another important thing to think about, right? Like, because of you and because of your choices, like, do other beings have to suffer and die, like, because of your choices? And, if you're okay with that, and I think the majority of us are, we're not born that way. And I think at first you might think that, it's obviously it's conflicting because you do not want to kill or harm or cause pain and suffering to other animals. Like, you just don't. You don't want to hear it. That's why we don't want to watch it. We don't want to watch slaughterhouse videos. But I think if you pull yourself to watch some of the footage of what actually happens in these beings and how they respond and how they react to what's about to happen to them, and then what happens to them, and then just to see how quick it happens, how just it's just like a product going down the product, the manufacturing line. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And knowing that that being was just alive right before that happened, and boom, done. And it's just not something that anyone should be comfortable witnessing or watching. It makes sense why no one wants to watch it. But I think that if you partake in eating these types of foods, these animals, you should watch it. You should. I mean, I almost think that should be a requirement before we eat something. You should watch the process or know the process of this, of start to finish, right? You can't just look at the end result. You have to look how it got there. Okay? And I think for plants and vegetables, you're able to do that very easily, with no problem whatsoever. You have no issue. You don't have, bad feelings or thoughts, or you don't cringe. But when you think of the process of taking a baby animal, or a 2 week old, a 3 week old, a 4 month old animal, and go ahead and walk them and then slit their throat, like, put a bullet to their head, or a stun gun to their head, and then slit their throat, hang them upside down, and chop them up into pieces. It's just not what we should be comfortable witnessing or watching or talking about. But yet we're able to consume them without thinking about that. And so we've done, and I think society has done this, we've done such a good job of separating the two. We've done such a good job of separating the two that we don't ever think about it. Like, it just happens naturally. We don't ever think about what we're actually eating, the animal that we're actually eating, how it happened, and why, and what's the purpose of it. And if you start to dial in and really start to pick away at some of these, things that are actually of what's actually happening behind the scenes of these animals, you'll find out quickly that is not something that you are comfortable with or want to be a part of or want to partake in. Yet we continue to do it. because one of the reasons is for taste. That's one of the common justifications people use. Um, but this is another one. No animal has to die for me to live. So Bart Simpson's has to write this lots of times. Not sure why. All right, check this out. Right behind me here, we got Mila. She's in our backyard here, and all these animals have personalities, right? They each have personalities, and they things that make them feel good. Look, you got Mila barking now upstairs, but she's really trying to pull this stick and really pull it and put it somewhere and chew on it for whatever reason, for a lot of different reasons. Here goes some geese there that are swimming. There you go, coming up on Mila. They're over there. There it is. There she is. Even the geese, right? So they all have personalities and they're all interacting with each other. And so for us to think that they don't have feelings and they don't have, they don't know what's going on. I mean, this is just nonsense. I mean, there's no difference between a dog and a pig and a chicken and a turkey. And so they all have brains. They all have eyes. They all can see what's going on. And for us to kind of look away from what's actually happening to them, only for us to consume them, I think is not something that you want to be doing. And I think that once we handle that, you're going to feel so much better. So I encourage you to literally stop, right? Choose plant-based version of any of the animal products that you're currently consuming. All right. Also, as we go here, so go ahead and head over to quiteatinganimals.com, www.quiteatinganimals.com, where you can pick up one of our shirts, Quit Eating Animals shirt, and also a reminder bracelet of Quit Eating Animals, or even Choose Dairy Free. Go ahead and check out the website. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe to the channel as we get more, topics and comments, and we'll continue to put out videos, and hopefully these videos help you. Let us know in the comments, what do you want to see? What do you want us to talk about? All right. Until the next video, have a great day. Peace. See ya.